Welcome back. This is Metropole TV, Kenya's 24-hour business channel. My name is Stephen Kimani, and this is Metropole Business Center. Now, on this part of the break, on this part of the show, we are turning now to Kenya's Silicon Savannah, the flagship project that will transform Kenya into a global technology startup hub. I'm talking about the Konza Technocity project, which is located nearly 70 kilometers south of Nairobi. And a lot of work has gone into setting up the foundations for the project, and there's still much more work ahead for the flagship project. So how far is the Silicon Savannah from coming into reality? Engineer John Tanui, the Chief Executive Officer of Konza Technocity Development Authority, has the answer to that and other questions. Engineer, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Kimani. It's a great pleasure to be with you at Metro Television this morning.
Welcome to Metropole Business Center. Indeed, most will want to find out what's the status of the Konza Technocity project. How far are we? What are the milestones that have been achieved so far?
This is one of our most aspiring projects as a country, and it's part of the Vision 2030 flagship projects under the economic pillar. As you're aware, within the Vision 2030, there were three major pillars. That's the economic, social, and political. So within the economic pillar, this is the key one of the flagship projects. It's a $14.5 billion project, so it's indeed a mega project. And one of the things that is required to bring forth such a huge project is planning. So this project has gone through a lot of process through the planning, conceptualization, master plan development, guidelines development, engagement of several consultants to come with the different designs that is required for the city. And now we have entered the phase of construction. And as you indicated, the journey just began, because just like every other city, the takeoff is key, but now the city gains its life and continues to grow over the years. So we are at the takeoff stage, and a number of projects now are ongoing. We've started with foundational projects, which is to turn a greenfield, which is a farmland basically, into a city. And turning a farmland or a greenfield into a city requires quite a lot. In addition to planning designs, is now the actual construction, where we are now designing implementing what we are calling the horizontal infrastructure. This is the basic city amenities, roads, and in this case, because of a smart city and aspiration to make it world class, we are calling streetscapes. This includes the roads, bicycle lanes, walk lanes, the green spaces that are required in the city, the utility corridors. This is tunnels that are required to provide channels where to take your electrical cables, wastewater, solid waste. So it's a huge project that is going to turn the first phase of Konza Technopolis, 400 acres, into a serviced location.
Good. How much are we talking about has gone into just setting up that basic infrastructure?
So as indicated, this project is about $14.5 billion project, and the government role is actually to do the foundational work, which constitutes about 10%, in total about 10%. The rest is expected to be direct investment by the private entities, other government agencies, under arrangements like PPP. So government has put significant investment to transform now the location into an attractive location for enterprises. So government has done commitment in respect to the horizontal infrastructure, which is about 40 billion shillings infrastructure. And this is going to ensure that the location is fully serviced. This project constitutes establishment of wastewater reclamation facility. This is a wastewater treatment facility where we treat and reclaim over 95% of water into WHO standards, and we can use this water now for irrigation, cleaning in terms of irrigation of the green spaces, and also for other uses, not for potable water use. We have also the freshwater treatment plant. We have the distribution cables of fresh water. We have electrical distributions. We also have a unique project, which is a solid waste, where solids are separated at source and using a vacuum system collected at one location where now they can be used for other uses. And we also have a number of buildings that we are going to have to make the location. We are going to have an emergency and police station facility. We will have a welcome center. We will have also some buildings along the wastewater treatment plant and with the freshwater and other several projects to make the 400 acres of the 5,000 acres serviced and be possible for investors to start the development. We also have another project. To run a smart city, you need a basic data center to be able to bring in ICT so that you can make the lives of residents more efficient, more effective, make it more safe, have cameras, have all kinds of sensors. And we were privileged that the Ministry of ICT decided to locate one of the national data centers at Konza Technopolis. And the phase one of this project is up and operational. And we are completing now the phase two, which we expect to be ready by the end of this year. So this will make Konza Technopolis the national digital platform for the country. We will be able to host national data. As you know, we are generating quite a lot of data because of the digital economy that we have, and also the requirements of enterprises and requirements of the government. So it will also be a platform for our innovation because our country is really doing very well. We've risen from number 4 to now top 2 in Africa in aspects of innovation. So establishment of the national data center at Konza Technopolis will also contribute to taking our country even to do better. We rank number 77 in the world, and we are hoping now with such a development of the national data center and the entire Konza Technopolis will provide a platform for our country very soon to be among the top 50. We are also working with other ministries to see more development, and one of the key infrastructure we are going to develop is what will drive what we call the knowledge economy. So with the partnership of Ministry of Education and the government of Korea, we are setting up a research institute at Konza. The designs were completed. We are at the final stages of bringing on board the contractor. So within another few months, we are going to have construction of a 13.5 billion institute, which will engage involve masters and PhD programs and will be biased towards research in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics areas. So the foundations to make Konza Technopolis a success is really falling in place. One of our key partners, consultants in the development of the Research Institute, is a university from Korea, Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is the world's 6th most innovative university in the world. So we think with this, we are positioning the country at a real takeoff. There are more other investments like Ketraco is putting up a 400 kV substation, and this will link Konza Technopolis with the other key areas of Nairobi. And there are more investments coming from local and abroad. So we can say we are the takeoff, and our office is operational now. We are living and work. We are working from Konza. What we are waiting for is now to see residential part also develop.
Thanks a lot, Engineer, for that very detailed and extensive update on the status of the Konza Technocity project. But probably at this point, let me ask, are there any private operators that probably are coming to the picture? I mean, you've explained the government's role and the various initiatives that have been implemented so far. But where is the place of the private sector? What are the opportunities that probably somebody who's watching this interview you will probably pitch to them to take into the Konza city?
We are positioning Konza Technopolis to be a premium location for the private sector. We have been already gazetted as a special economic zones location. And as you know, the country has already put a process in place to access incentives as provided by the Special Economic Zones Act. The authority, which is CESA, has already licensed us as a Special Economic Zones developer and also an operator. So with this, we are able to facilitate those who are in trading, those who are in manufacturing, those who are focused in the 3 key areas we are looking at. That's ICT, that's engineering, and the life sciences. We've already attracted a number of investors who are now preparing to start development of their infrastructure or facilities. We have those who are interested to set up hospitals, and we have one from South Africa, which is a specialized hospital, and we have one a referral hospital, which is expected to be led by American investors. We also have technology companies from our country who have expressed interest to set up software development centers at Konza Technocity. We've received expressions to host some companies who want to set up an electronic assembly plant and manufacturing plant at Konza. So we are seeing the interest is growing, and this is in addition to those who have expressed interest to do the physical buildings, that's the office spaces, the hotels, and the residential. So the private sector investment is now peaking. One of the things that the private sector had indicated to us is they needed to see infrastructure. They needed the place prepared, and we think now those are in place. We have the construction progressing very well on the horizontal infrastructure, provision of power, all the city services. We also have this special economic zone. So now the location is ready, and the timelines of completion of the infrastructure, the horizontal infrastructure, and the development of the buildings can now be synchronized. And we think the investors are now ready to start their work, and they will match with the timelines of readiness of the infrastructure.
Briefly, what's the next big thing that we should expect once you've completed the infrastructure development phase of the project?
So what we are anticipating now within the next 2 years is to see fully operationalization of the National Data Center, both for public and private sector use, and being a real platform for innovation for our country. So we are looking to at that exciting moment where we can have a real digital platform to support the innovation of the country and the digital economy. The other thing we are looking at within those 2 years now to 3 years is the operationalization of the research institute. And this is quite exciting because in addition to the brick and mortar, the most important part is the software part of the city, which is the innovation and the growth of the knowledge economy. And we think this research institute will actually play a very critical role for Konza to be to do such a similar contribution like what we have seen in other research locations of the world, like the Silicon Valley, and institutions like Stanford has played very critical. So this research institute will be really a driving force for our innovation. So we are looking forward to see this institution operational and provide the talent that this country needs to move to the next level. We are also working on new other projects. We have attracted several other investors who are looking at Konza as a location to locate their research centers, technical support centers, experience centers in respect to technology, and we're engaging most of the top global technology firms. And recently we had meetings at the site with technology partners, including Microsoft, Oracle, Huawei, and others. And we are really laying the foundation for a collaboration and a platform to serve the residents of Konza Technocity, the users of the National Data Center, and to serve their country and the region from Konza. We are also looking at tapping on what Konza was required to deliver, which is opportunities for employment, creation of wealth. And one of such projects is what we are calling the Digital Media City, which will be at Konza. We are currently doing a feasibility study with the funding, a grant from the Korea Exim Bank. And this will be able to make a huge contribution to our country because we are able to come out with digital products, and we have a very innovative population. And looking at what other countries have been able to do, they have been able to make locations like Konza make a significant contribution towards their GDP. So we are looking at Konza making a contribution of at least 2% of the national GDP. and through such projects. The journey is still long, as you mentioned, but it has started and we are on track and in that direction.
That's where we leave it, Engineer John Tanui. Thanks a lot for the extensive details that you've given us around the status of Kenya's Silicon Savannah. Indeed, we are looking forward to coming to the ground to see the actual works that have taken place so far. Thanks a lot, Engineer.
Karibu sana, Stephen. Looking forward to see you at Konza Technopolis.
Asante sana. And at this point, we will take a short break here on Metropole Business Center. Up next, I'll be engaging Tony Sunny, the CEO of Securex, on the company's plans to venture into technology on its next growth phase, having just marked its 50th anniversary